Welcome into the live stream here for McCready and Siskey, episode 56 today on the show, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. Thanks for everybody for being in the stream. Appreciate you.
How we doing, brother?
Good. Hadn't seen you in like 30 minutes.
At least. Oh, yeah, about that long. You was getting it in today, man.
Yeah, I got a good one in today.
Dude, I'm you know, I think everybody thinks you just go work out or you go exercise. Like, dude, you were legit getting it. I'm just trying to stay alive. Your ass is there getting ready for the damn marathon.
I've gotten back into pretty decent running shape.
I mean, no shit. I mean,
for the first time in a while.
You ran 10 plus miles.
Yeah, I ran 10 and a quarter. I ran 10 hard, and then I ran that last quarter just kind of cooling off.
Yeah, no chance.
I actually was getting like stronger as the run went on.
Dude, I was impressed. I was like, damn, cuz, get it.
So, yeah.
I'm just trying to keep from dying.
So Saturday, and you and I talked on Saturday, so you sort of know this, but Laura makes these cookies.
Yeah.
Okay. I usually don't eat them. They're really, really good. And I don't ever eat them. And they'll sit in the house, and I'll look at them, and I just avoid them. And like every time I avoid them, I'm thinking to myself, that's a win. You know, it's a win.
Yes.
It's one of the reasons I don't like get, not really mad, but I don't ever like say anything like stop making the damn cookies. Because if I'll pass by the plate of them and I don't touch them, that's a win.
Dude, I can't. Then you're better. I can't walk past them.
So Friday night, I suffered a loss. Carson and I were.
Did you crush them?
Carson and I were watching something. I guess it was NBA. And I said, I can have one. No, it was a mistake.
It's like Pringles, man.
That was a mistake. And so all I could think about that night was you're getting in the gym in the morning and you're going to go a little harder than you normally go. We're going to burn those off. We're going to make this even. And so I'd been doing this run thing where I'd run 4 miles, walk a little bit, run a couple miles, walk a little bit, kind of stair step my way down.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, not doing it. Going to keep going. And I thought I'd like, at 6-7 miles, I thought I'd be like, okay, I'm toast. But I ended up getting 10 in on Saturday morning, and I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. So today I was kind of the same thing. I thought, I'm going to get to 10 stopping as little as possible. I was basically stopping every 2 miles just to get a quick drink of water, and then I start running again.
Yeah, dude, I was low-key impressed. I was not low-key. I was very impressed because I can't run anymore like that. I actually wouldn't mind doing it. I just can't.
Yeah.
Because of my injury. All the scar tissue I got in my right side.
Yeah, I didn't suffer that type of an injury.
You didn't break your femur, your tib, your fib, and 2 bones in your feet and dislocate your ankle all at one time?
No, but I wasn't good. I was not good enough to play college football.
Well, mine didn't happen on a football field. Mine happened, I fell off a roof.
Oh, I thought yours happened in football.
Dude, we have not told this story. That's how I got into coaching. I fell off a roof. Myself and my dad painted a house. I fell 40 feet.
Oh, my God.
Good news is I landed on my feet. I did 2 backflips and landed. Literally, I was coming back around again. My dad was at the bottom of the ladder, and he was trying to catch me, never touched me. That's how fast I was going. And you know how you roll your ankle?
Yeah.
I rolled my leg.
Yeah.
And look, the cool part was, is when I picked my foot up like this.
Nope.
My foot was backwards.
I'm not looking.
Then I took my own foot. I turned it back around. I think I put it in place. I put it back around in to where it's supposed to go. And then I just held on to it with 2 hands until my dad could get me to the hospital. Because I was afraid it was going to fall off. I thought my foot was falling off.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Then I got into coaching.
I guess so.
Literally. Oh, yeah. And somebody said, Hardman says, dang, you're lucky to be alive. Yeah. You know how like the good Lord humbles you a little bit?
Yeah.
I was very upset that football was over. I was going in my 5th year of college. Very upset. Really down about it, depressed. And Health South was our team doctor, Dr. Andrews and those guys. It was Health South back then. Happened in Wedowee, Alabama. They got me to Birmingham. That was on a Saturday afternoon. They stabilized, put some kind of brace on it or whatever, in the hospital, and got me to Health South first thing Monday morning. And I get there, and they, because I was a player, they went ahead and took us back in like a secondary waiting room, and I was sitting there all jacked up, and this guy that was in that was paralyzed, blowing out of a straw deal, was standing next to me. He goes, "Hey son, what happened to you?" I said, I was helping my dad paint a house. The ladder actually broke because when it was 37.5 feet to be technical. Ladder broke. I fell. He goes, "Yeah, me too. I fell 6 feet." So the guy had fallen off a 6-foot ladder, and he's paralyzed and so that I got out of my pities, got out of my feels real quick.
Yeah, fast.
Yeah. So lucky.
Gosh.
But yeah, that was.
I always write. That's my thing about coaching searches and stuff. I write about the ladder analogy. You and I have had that conversation. I think.
Yeah.
That's my point.
You didn't know that though. You never knew that story.
I always thought there was a football injury.
No, I didn't play enough to get hurt. Got a concussion one time, but I didn't play enough to have a gruesome football injury. Practiced enough. I just didn't play enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I led the NCAA in practice reps. I was hell on wheels Monday, Sunday through Friday night.
I knew quickly I was just nowhere near good enough to even think about college football.
Yeah.
So
I was a beast 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was really good until I had to cover people that could actually run. And then it was like, oh, we're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. The extensions on the ladder gave out.
Oh,
and I wasn't holding on to the ladder. I was laying into it.
Mm-hmm.
Pressure. We're getting ready to paint the house, and I was pressure washing it. So I had the hose in one hand and the wand going through on the other, leaning into it. And the extensions broke and fell off like a 5-foot overlay on the house.
Okay.
Down she came.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're all right.
Me too.
Oh, I mean, just the thought.
Make you puke before we get started. It's a good intro.
Welcome into another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That's Tyler Siskey. That makes me laugh every time.
It's two smooth ones in a row.
It's two really good ones. Welcome into the show. Thank you for being with us. Appreciate it. Happy Monday to everyone. Super Bowl 57 in the books. What was the final?
38-35.
38-35. Kansas City beats Philadelphia. We'll talk about that.
I heard about that game.
Talk about that. All the Eagles fans in the stream. Probably not in the stream today. They're
in their fields today.
Get it all later.
I'm rolling with my Melon Mania today. It's been a minute since I've had Melon Mania.
Yeah.
You have Melon Mania. The other day we had Watermelon Warlord. And there's some similarities. The Inferno version, it's pretty good, dude. You're not a big watermelon guy, though, are you?
Not really like watermelon much.
Let me tell you, that's where it's at.
I don't hate the flavor. I just don't really like it. It's just not my thing. I mean, I can.
This tastes like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. That's the best way I can describe this. It's good. It also sells out fast because it's hard to find in the stores as well. That and cherry limeade sell out very quickly in our local market.
Cherry limeade is fantastic.
Yeah, that's good.
I've got the white gummy bear today.
Yeah.
So
little post-workout gummy bear.
Yeah, post-workout gummy bear. So
you need those BCAAs to get your muscles growing back.
Speaking of this show, obviously brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Where are my Eagles fans at, Neal?
They are not flapping their wings today. All right. I did not watch much of the game. I did see.
Really?
I really didn't. I kind of followed along in places.
Yep.
We watched the halftime show.
Okay.
Laura wanted to watch the halftime show. So we did. And then.
Did you see the national anthem?
I did see the national anthem.
Special.
He was terrific. I like Stapleton.
I'm a huge Chris Stapleton fan.
So it's funny, Chris Stapleton, the music that some of the music that he does that I love it. And he has some music that's just not for me, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's not, some of his stuff that's, I think, a little more old country is not my thing.
Yeah. Well, that's his thing because he has the
Right.
old country voice.
I mean, his voice is just incredible, but some of his stuff is remarkable, and he's very talented. So I saw that, and then we were cooking. Laura made red beans and rice, and I kind of helped a little bit and stuff like that. And we were just kind of chilling, and I really wasn't paying attention to it. And in the second half, I thought when Philly was up by 10 at the half, I thought, well, they're going to win, and I just kind of moved on. And I guess it got 35-27.
Is that when you started?
And, well, 35-27, but I knew it was 35-27, and then I saw where they scored. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to flip to it. And so at that point, they got 2, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm in now. So I really didn't watch closely until it was 35-33.
Yeah.
So I missed a lot of Super Bowl. But
I know this will come as a big surprise. I watched every play.
Well, I've read enough about it and watched enough highlights now to sort of feel like I saw the game. There was 2 or 3 plays that I think, based on what I can tell, 2 or 3 plays that really haunt the Eagles Monday after.
Yeah, the big thing, obviously the big controversy today is the holding call called on James Bradberry on the last drive, because they're off the field. Even though the Eagles are out of timeouts, they have, or maybe they had one left at that time.
They would have had one left.
They'd had one left, like a minute 40, down 3, had a chance to go down.
That's about right. A minute 45 is what they would have had, down 3, assuming that he makes the kick from that distance, and I think he would have.
Yeah.
It's 38-35, and they're going to get the ball back with about a minute, in all likelihood, a minute.
All day.
A minute 45 and a timeout.
In the NFL all day.
And all you need is a field goal.
Cross midfield in the NFL, you're damn near in field goal range.
A field goal would have sent it to overtime. And I think that's where so many people, frankly, self-included. Now, I don't know how the game was called, which is going to be my first question to you. Did they call that all night or
no,
what? So
no, there was
but that's where
that's where the fussing comes in. Even as a coach or a player, right? You know, probably about a quarter and a half into the game, how the game's getting called. And as coaches now, I did it a lot. Hey, you're able to get away with some stuff, or they're not. If they're like, if I'm coaching receivers, right, and they're being real ticky tack on, PI or whatever, I mean, we're going to run into you a little bit. We're going to force you to be physical back and to get some calls and things. Like you start coaching into the calls.
But from a coaching standpoint, all you really want is consistency, right?
That's all you want. And the entire night, they let them play. Okay? They let them play. I think that, obviously, besides offsides, they let one of those tackle false start deals go one time, and then they called it they let the Eagles get away with it. The tackles jumping before the ball snap kind of deal.
Lane Johnson.
And, they let him get away with it. And then they called Kansas City, they called Orlando Brown doing it one time. But that's kind of, okay, good. They called illegal use to the hands of the face one time. That was on Ndamukong Suh. They called that. And they called an offensive pass interference early, either first quarter, third quarter, somewhere. They called it offensive pass interference on blocking downfield before, in the NFL, which is a good call.
Okay.
What they didn't call is in the second quarter, when the Eagles called up, when they had a chance to, it was, I guess, 10-7, whatever it was, and they start, Juju gets PI'd and held and everything else on a third down in the second quarter that forced Kansas City to punt, that gave the Eagles a chance to get a 10-point lead around midfield, and he got spun around. It was legit, big-time call, and they don't call it. It was probably the worst non-call on a holding on Juju, okay, that would have extended the drive and kept going. That was the one that shocked me. It doesn't get called. And I was like, okay, they're going to let them play. And they did. They let them play all night long until the very last call. And then they called the holding. Was it holding? Yes, it was. And look, I would like to say, and this goes to when I talk about I know players, I've sat in that kid's living room. I personally recruited him and signed him at Arkansas State, James Bradberry. Okay. Pleasant Grove High School, Birmingham, Alabama. Sat in his living room, recruited him. All I had to beat was Sanford on him. That's the only team we had to beat, believe it or not. Gets to Arkansas State. We redshirted him. We come to Ole Miss talking about which the portal was around.
Mm-hmm.
We come to Arkansas State and come to Ole Miss, and then Gus cuts him because he wasn't good enough. And if he had stayed at Arkansas State, he'd been the highest drafted player ever out of Arkansas State.
Where did he end up going?
Sanford. He
Sanford.
went back home because nobody wanted him.
How about that?
Yeah, it's all pro. 2-time.
To
Anyway,
his credit, he's taken every single question.
all right, that's who you're getting. He is a phenomenal character kid, raised by his mother and his grandmother. Phenomenal kid. He'll stand up and answer the music. That's what I liked about him. You know, that's what he does. He's a big physical corner and is a phenomenal human being.
He said he grabbed the jersey.
Yeah.
He said, I was hoping I'd get away with it.
And you know what? But that's a product of, in his defense, it's a product of the way the game was being called, right? I mean, that's a product of why it was what it was. But Juju not getting, I mean, there were worse calls. But I want to say all that to say this. Eagles fans, that's not why your ass lost the game. Everybody blames it on the one call. People are pissed off today about that call because 70% of the money was on the Eagles. So 70% of America is pissed off because they wanted the Eagles to win. I tried to tell your ass on Thursday that it was going to be the Kansas City money line and the over. By the way, I also said Travis Kelce was going to be the first touchdown scorer, and I only missed it because they won the damn coin toss. He was the first touchdown scorer on the first drive at Kansas City touched the ball. Almost hit that son of a bitch too. But that's not why they lost the game. Philadelphia in the playoffs, and when they win the game, and everybody, that's all you. I don't see any freaking Eagles fans in here. I didn't see your ass on TikTok. Okay, I got the whole.
Talk to the Eagles people.
Y'all have gone missing. Okay, you're greasing poles in downtown Philadelphia on Saturday and Sunday. Bad mojo. Don't do that. Did you see this? Y'all are greasing poles in downtown Philly the day before the game. They're flipping cars in downtown Philly, already celebrating at like noon yesterday. Bad mojo. You don't do that. You never mess with the gods. They came back. The football gods saw that, and they said, "You know what?
There's no question about that.
You don't do that." So I got a little deal for you. This comes from my guy Rich Rod right here. Hey, look. So all you guys and y'all, hey, not one of them has said it's shit on TikTok the last 2 days. They've gone disappearing. They've been talking shit for 3 weeks. I haven't seen you. So I got a message for you. This is courtesy from my friend Rich Rod. This nice shirt he gave me.
This is Rich Rodriguez, the Jacksonville State coach. For those of you who are listening to the podcast.
Never be soft.
The T-shirt on the back says never be soft with an exclamation point.
Show up.
It does.
All right, good. Stop being soft. You lost. Show up and take your ass kicking. And for people that don't go to work today because their team lost, that's soft. Show up. Like my man James Bradberry, he's not soft. And I hate this because I love a lot of players and coaches on the Eagles.
Yeah.
Still love you guys. This is just your fan base is obnoxious. The most obnoxious fan base in the history of any sport. But here's why you lost. This is why you're hungover and you didn't go to work today. It's because besides Jalen Hurts, the rest of the team had 17 carries for 2.64 yards. They didn't run the ball. What if I told you that Patrick Mahomes with a high ankle sprain outgained every running back in your backfield rushing yesterday?
That would be a sign that I was in trouble.
I mean, you're screwed. Patrick Mahomes had more rushing yards than your entire backfield not named Jalen Hurts.
Hurts is probably kicking himself today for the fumble, right? The scoop and score. Take me through the play. What happened?
I mean, he just lost handle on the ball. I mean, he was trying to make a play, lost handle on the ball. It happens. Bad timing, but It wasn't anything like it just happened. And nothing he really did wrong besides drop the ball. But he was just trying to make a play and lost handle on the ball.
Other than that, he played pretty well, right?
He played really good. They still didn't. We talked about it on the podcast on Thursday about Chris Jones needing to be a factor. Chris Jones was a non-factor, man. He did a good job in the run defense, which by stats it showed. He really took up two guys. He did a good job holding his gap, but he had maybe one play. I think one time he actually got penetration and flushed him left, which is what you got to do to Jalen is flush him left. Jalen threw, if it wasn't for A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, people would be talking about him today. A.J. Brown saved him, one on the long touchdown. That was a shitty ball into double coverage. And A.J., it was bad ball judgment by the corner, great ball judgment by A.J., which is something he's phenomenal at. He goes around the guy, makes a Superman play. It looked really easy. That was a very difficult play A.J. Brown made. And then the second time he saved him, they went back to a similar double, a corner post, goes back into double coverage. It should have been picked. And A.J. goes up and makes gets it away from the defense. So there were two, you don't throw those balls. He was just taking a chance. So
the Eagles' defense,
yep,
this season, you have the note here. They were a third all time in sacks.
They were like 5 away from taking over like the 85 Bears, dude.
They did not get to Patrick Mahomes very much. Did not sack him at all yesterday.
Big goose egg. That's why you lost the game. Stop blaming it on the penalty. You lost the game because you couldn't run the football when you've been shoving it up everybody's ass, and you never got to Patrick Mahomes. Neal times. But hats off to freaking Kansas City now. The offensive line's been suspect a little bit. I mean, dude, that's a legit defensive line, man. And no sacks. I mean, that's why you lose the game. Pretty simple on that. Blame it on that. Oh, let's go. You want to go to the coaching part of it?
Sure.
Let me tell you why else you lost the game. Because you never adjusted your tight red zone coverage. You got exposed early in the game. They get exposed, and everybody's talking about the 2 that they scored the touchdown on. They're in cover 0 on the tight red zone, and they bring. They actually ran the ball, or no, they threw it out of the backfield for like a 4-yard gain. But they got caught passing the way they were trying to pass stuff off. And you can't do that. If you get caught like that, people that are smart, like these dudes that are getting paid gazillions of dollars on that, they were playing like at the Super Bowl, these real smart coaches, they'll see that. And they saw it. So basically what they're doing, let me try to explain it to you in layman's terms.
Okay.
In cover 0, it's man coverage, right?
Yep.
No safety help, no nothing. Cover 0, no help. And you're bringing pressure. So they were bringing motion, and how they were answering. You got 2 choices. You can either, okay, you take off a motion, I got to run with you, okay, or you can pass it off and then bump it so you're up the guy waiting on him. He can't just run full speed and catch it in the flats on the other side. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So what they did is they were bringing fast motion, and they were basically getting him to a stack position to as soon as they bumped, and you could see Patrick Mahomes' eyes. As soon as they started to bump, he asked for the ball, and so they started kicking, and so the guy that was covering the guy in motion bumped to the number 2 guy, and then he stopped and whipped right back out. There's nobody covering him. Wide ass open. The first time they did it, they brought him across, and they threw a ball in the backfield, and they saw how they were adjusting. The last 2 touchdowns they scored, they ran the exact same play on both sides and scored. Walk in, free, unmolested touchdown. I mean, just because they call him a bump. You can't do that in the NFL. The first time you get caught, they're going to see it. Hell, they got caught twice. You can't pass it off like that. You got to change the way you're passing it off. You can go red 7, you can do a bunch of things, but you cannot pass it off like that once you get caught.
As a coach, are you shocked they didn't make that adjustment?
I'm astonished.
Yeah.
Like, that's a problem. Like, that's a big deal. This isn't just like playing a video game and you got caught bringing, nickel pressure mid-zero blitz in Madden. I mean, this is a problem. But twice, not once, twice.
Yeah. Back-to-back
drives. Cost a touchdown. So that was a really, really big deal there. So that's why they lost. And then obviously the 2 big plays, which we talked about, were the scoop and score and the punt return.
Punt return was big.
Really, really big.
It was basically a touchdown.
And it was essentially, right?
Yeah.
So, but if you watch it from the end zone copy, which I got a chance to see this morning, it was terrible coverage, man. I mean, they had nobody. They had like 9 of their 11 guys were outside the wrong hash, and they were setting up a wall, which tells me they've seen it on film. They knew what they were doing. I mean, they were over there. That was like old school 1984 build a wall punt return, man. I mean, there was nobody left. Terrible coverage lanes. There was no contain. I mean, you have contain and you have an alley runner, and there was neither one of those guys. I don't know what they were doing, but they saw something on film, and they attacked it, and it hit, man. And so it changed the game, and that's why you lose. So
we'll get some other topics in a minute. I want to first tell you about our next partner, Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted better gut health, sustained energy, immune system support, and I hate taking pills. I take AG1 every afternoon to break my fast. I love knowing I'm doing something good for my body, giving my body the nutrition it craves, covering my nutritional basis. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust AG1. I just mix one small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it fast in the afternoon. Done. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day. Pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients. It's a win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need for your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/MPW. That's athleticgreens.com/MPW. Check it out.
So let's talk a little gambling.
Yeah.
I was a very happy human being last night. I had a little 4-unit parlay on the Chiefs money line and the over. So I was very happy for a holding call.
You were, yeah.
And here's all kidding aside, going back to the holding call. Do you know what would have happened though if they didn't call it and the Eagles drove down and scored and won the game? Now you'd have people bitching about that should have been called. It wasn't. You're in a no-win situation.
It's very, very difficult to officiate professional sports.
They did a really good job except for that last play.
But that's so big. You've laid out all the reasons why the game went the way it did. But I think the one thing you want from the officials in a game like that, and when I say this, I mean from a fan perspective, I didn't care. I kind of wanted Philly to win just because I hate the Chiefs. And I only really hate the Chiefs because they beat the Bengals. Kind of.
When you get done, I want to talk about that.
Officiating was bad.
I think it had something to I said this out loud, though. I think you're onto something here. I said this out loud yesterday.
Okay.
I think the NFL told them to swallow the whistle. Like, it was apparent that they were not calling shit yesterday. Do you know how many offensive holding calls there were yesterday?
Okay, so here's my thing. It's my point. So if you're going to let them play, let them play. Don't call that play. And then let Harrison Butker go kick the field goal. Woohoo, 38-35. Going to go kick it off. Probably out of the end zone. And Jalen Hurts is going to take the field at the 25-yard line.
Yep.
About a minute 40 to go and a timeout.
One, right?
Yep. And he's going to have his moment. We've seen quarterbacks have those moments. And sometimes the moment ends up being spectacular, and sometimes they don't get it done.
Right.
We've seen Eli Manning, a couple of those that defined his career, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Eli Manning had
Tom Brady, all of the great
Tom
ones.
Brady's had tons of it. And Tom Brady had some where he didn't get it done.
Yep.
And it's what you want, though. As a fan,
that's what you want.
You want to. I want to see the Eagles take the field. There's 3 potential outcomes at that moment. They're going to drive and get a touchdown that wins the Super Bowl. They're going to drive and get a field goal that sends us to overtime. We're going to get Patrick Mahomes in overtime. Ooh, sign me up. Or they're not going to get it done. The Chiefs' defense is going to make a play, and they're going to celebrate. I don't want it to be decided by a yellow hanky. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing, and everybody knows it. So if you're right, and I think you probably are, that they told them, hey, look, that Buffalo-Kansas City game, that is not Buffalo, the Cincinnati-Kansas City game, that is not good for our league. We don't need that. Let's let these players play. Why the hell are you making that call?
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it, dude. And the other ones, for them not to throw the one, and again, we're going back and we're, playing, butterfly effect. But I think if they call the one that was egregious on Juju in the second quarter and they extend that drive, yep. I think the Chiefs score and we're in a different situation then. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, that one was egregious. That did not get called. And then that one on James was, was it a penalty? Yes, but it wasn't like they'd been getting away with worse. You know what I mean? So I don't know. How about this? Since you wasn't watching, I was. And I guarantee you I can find a video. There's going to be a video online. So we talk about props and bad beats and all that stuff. I almost bet this, by the way, and I didn't because the odds were so good. Kenny Gainwell, first touchdown scored was plus 2,200. And for whatever reason, he's done this a couple times this year, right? He's like technically the backup running back, but they don't care about Miles Sanders getting their deal. They end up putting him in there towards the end anyway. He was plus 2,200. First drive of the game, he scores a touchdown. Place is going nuts. They review the play, and he's short by they put it on the hairline.
A couple inches.
But at plus 2,200, they're going like this, and if you've bet that, you've got to be woo. And then
it's gone.
And then it's gone. And then Jalen Hurts at plus 650 does the quarterback sneak.
Vegas is like,
I mean, dude, like if you had Gainwell plus 2,200, that's got to make you.
Oh,
there's got to be a video somewhere online.
Oh, there's somebody in Vegas that put $200 down on Gainwell and was sitting there going, "I just made $4,400."
I mean, let's go.
And now it's gone.
Oh, that's got to make you sick. And then something that captivated my household, because my son was all into all these prop bets yesterday, and my son telling me about all these prop bets. The Gatorade color. They didn't show the Gatorade. I mean, it's a big, like a lot of people bet on this thing, the Gatorade color. And they didn't show Andy Reid getting hit by the Gatorade. They show him wet. It took like 2.5 hours after the game before they could settle what the Gatorade color was. Like there was no video of him.
There was probably a photo of it.
They had to get a photo. People were sitting there waiting, like, what's the Gatorade color? Nobody knew.
It was purple.
Like somebody probably bet a couple $100 just going through, all kinds of anxiety after the game, but it was purple. It was like plus 700. Get you some. So, yeah, but that's it on the Super Bowl, man. I just I thought it was a very good game. Minus, I wish it would have ended a little different, but
yeah, because you just don't want that to be. Look, we just did a show. We did 20-something minutes, and the big topic was a call. You don't want that. You want the big topic to be a play that somebody made.
Yeah,
that's. And I don't know how the league gets to that place, but they've got to look at these last couple of games that everyone's going to remember, and it's kind of a deflating thing.
Yeah, it sucks. So,
Walk On Sports Bistro puts everything they've got into bringing you game day with the taste of Louisiana. Dig into their mouth-watering, made-from-scratch Louisiana cuisine, po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers, fresh salads, all in front of 70-plus TVs, 40-plus ice-cold beers on tap. You can also order online at walkons.com or on their convenient Walk-Ons app, especially if you're in Oxford or the Jackson, Mississippi area. Check them out in Oxford or Ridgeland today.
Briefly, before we get out of here, a couple of NFL notes. Did you see Derek Carr refused his
I did.
Used his no trade clause, I guess?
So it tells me two things. One, the Saints weren't going to pay him what he wanted. And then two, my guess is that the tampering portal somehow, some way extends to the NFL, and Derek Carr must think he's got a good deal out there somewhere.
Well, if they traded him, the Saints, this is what I heard anyway, the Saints were wanting to redo his contract because of their salary issues. They got salary cap issues. And so they were wanting to redo his current contract. If you trade, you're on your current contract.
Right.
But now he can be released, and basically he's a free agent. So
the Saints could still sign him.
Well, technically, I guess somebody could pick him up off waivers too, but they're going to be on the hook.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
So he'll become a free agent. Going to be interesting to see where he ends up. Be very interesting. Because
he'll wait and see what happens with Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers, when is his 4 days of solitude over? When does he come out of the...
Dude, have you seen this?
Yeah.
I'm so interested to I watched a video on this shit over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most bizarre shit I've ever seen in my life.
You don't think you'd like 4 days in quiet?
No, it's not. I'm cool. I mean, you can take my phones or whatever you want to do, right?
Sure.
I mean, it's not like I can, but it's like you start hallucinating.
Like, what would you think about?
No, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I don't.
It does something. It's sensory deprivation or whatever.
Right.
And you start hallucinating. Like, dude, like,
why is he doing that to himself?
Well, he did the ayahuasca stuff, right?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, again, cool. If that's what your thing, go knock it out. I love Aaron Rodgers, by the way.
Oh, I do too.
But he's a different bird.
Yeah. But he gets like really different.
But he's gotten really, really different. Like, since this ayahuasca thing, he's gotten really, really different. That happened like 2.5, 3 years ago. Well, he came back and won back-to-back MVP. So good, it works for you.
Sure.
But like, it's almost like sometimes I think he had like a bad acid trip or something that kind of permanently messed something up with his ticker a little bit. And so now he's got to go out and find other things that I don't like. Could you do that?
4 days of
Complete darkness, no sound, in a room.
No. I mean, could I? I guess I could. Would I volunteer for it? No.
No, not volunteer. He's paying for it.
Yeah, well, for him, I mean, paying whatever he's paying is.
I mean, the last time I checked, now maybe I could be wrong, but
like you or me paying a couple bucks. I mean, Aaron's got so much money that the money doesn't matter.
The last time I checked, though, isn't that what we do to like the most hardened criminals on the planet?
Yes,
we put them in solitary
confinement. Yes.
And this dude's going to pay for it? I mean, I'd rather go rob a bank or something than go be put in solitary confinement.
The difference is he can say, hey, I want out. And they'll immediately, he's out.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You know.
But he's not because it'll be talked about.
Yeah, no, he's going to do it.
He's going to do it. Like, it's like, hold my beer, watch this. You got to do it. You can't like chicken out. That's just something.
I thought it was interesting that Green Bay has said finally, hey, look, if he says he wants to get traded, we'll trade him. It's kind of like Green Bay's like, this relationship has gone as far as it needs to go.
Let me tell you something else that happened in Green Bay. Why they're willing, the first time that they're willing to do that is this year, and we talked about it on the show during the season, when Aaron Rodgers got hurt for whatever game that was, or they took him out, whatever game that was, they were getting their ass kicked.
Yeah.
Jordan Love's the first time that he looked like a dude that you drafted. They probably saw enough to be like, okay.
Well, because if I'm Jordan Love's people, and I think I said this on a previous show a few weeks ago, if I'm Jordan Love's people, I'm going to the Packers and going, look, I've been a good soldier.
He has.
Been good, learned a lot from the MVP, but he's not the MVP anymore, and I'm ready to play. And if you're not going to play me, cool, I want out.
Right.
And there's probably a market for Jordan Love.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't know how
he's
robust
one of the 32
it would be.
best quarterbacks in the league, and he's sitting on the bench.
It's my guess. And so I would think he's finally gone to the Packers and said, look, I'm not doing this another year. And the Packers are probably ready to go, you know what? It's kind of time to turn the page.
Yeah.
Because when they turned the page from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, it worked out.
Well, they can also know this is maybe the last shot they get to get some value on Aaron Rodgers in return, too.
Right.
Because I don't.
Hey, Father Time.
Yeah.
Father Time just keeps marching on.
Yeah. So there's
that dude.
He's undefeated, untied, and unscored upon.
He just marches.
Yeah.
And it looked like he had finally got his claws into Aaron Rodgers a little bit last year. Rodgers was not as good last year as he'd been in previous seasons. He's still a damn good quarterback, but he wasn't over the top elite in much the same way you saw. Like, look, he got his claws into Drew Brees at the end, into Tom Brady at the end. I mean, he's going to win.
He will. Maybe he's going into this 4 days of darkness to get a arm implant or something. I don't know.
Yeah, beats me.
It's weird. Quickly, I don't know if you saw this, but we all knew that they were waiting on somebody. The Eagles, and I don't know if it's been announced or not, but Eagles offensive coordinator Shane Steichen is expected to be the new head coach of the Colts. He is meeting with them today, and a deal is supposed to be getting done. I have not seen that, if anything happened.
It's pretty good solace the day after a Super Bowl loss. You get your first head coaching job.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks that you're probably not in a good mood. That's tough. I wish every human being on this planet could, in your profession, basically have the worst day you've ever had and then have to go to work the next day and go through that. It builds character.
Sure.
Like, go lose kick 6 and go be in a living room the next night. I mean, it's builds character. And I mean, you gotta figure some shit out about yourself real quick, because it sucks. It does, man. There's nothing worse than losing the last game of the year than having to go pound the brick the next day.
Yeah,
that's part of it. All right.
In some ways, was it good to be busy though? Stopped you from having all day to just marinate in it? Because I know it was on the back of your mind, but you were still having to recruit and have conversations and do things. So the day, by the time the day ended at 10 something, that was probably your first time to really think about it.
If you lose a big game and you go back to the practice field the next day, going to practice kind of like fixes everything. You know what I mean? Like mentally, all right, you're on to the next one. You got a thing. It's the last game of the season that sucks because there's no practice the next day, or if it's between the championship game and the bowl game, there's no practice the next day. Not going to practice, usually you use practice to flush everything. Does that make sense? Like you be around the guys because the kids are fine. You talking about? You talking about
they move
resilient?
On. Yeah, they move on.
Kids could care less.
They move on.
The kids will not remember what happened.
Yeah,
they're good.
They move on.
It's the coaches that because you know that your job's on the line, and that was a little check in the bad box on your review. And it's coaches take a couple of days, but some are better at it than others. All right, switch gears, roll around here because I want to get to what topic we talked about. My main man, just want to let everybody know, I sent a tweet out the other day. I'm going to be extremely hard to find unless you're the two schools that already have work to set up on Thursday besides you. I have a Tiger Woods problem.
There are few people in the world who love Tiger Woods the way you love Tiger Woods.
I don't know if Tiger Woods loves Tiger Woods as much as I love Tiger Woods.
Probably not.
Like it's a problem. Like it's like my wife and kids, my parents, and then like right there is Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Like I have a Tiger problem to the point to where
would you be starstruck if you had an opportunity to hang out with him?
Again, I've been around Alex Rodriguez, all those guys when I was at that, didn't bother me. It's just I get weird about some people, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you in a minute. Tiger Woods, 100%. I would be like, I wouldn't know how to handle myself. But I remember like I told, how about this? I told A-Rod, Derek Jeter, and what's the manager that was back then?
Joe Torre?
No. Is it Girardi?
Oh, Joe Girardi?
Joe Girardi. All three of them came to an Alabama game, and I made them sit and wait while we went there and talked recruiting with Nick.
Really?
Yeah. On a game day.
How about that?
In his office. That doesn't bother me.
So who was it?
But if it was Tiger, it was A-Rod, Derek Jeter, and Joe Girardi.
Oh, they were all there to see Saban?
Yeah. They were like in town for the game or something. I don't know. We were playing maybe an LSU game or something.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big game. And they came by the facility, and because Coach would meet with recruits in his office it was early in the afternoon, way before the game. But we had recruits, and I made them wait because some 18-year-old kid was in there, 17-year-old kid was in there. And then Nick was like, "Hey, why didn't you tell me?" I was like, "Well, doing my job."
That kid's more important than those guys.
Yeah, those guys. But no, they were great about it, though. I mean, they were awesome.
Yeah.
All three of those guys were awesome. And
what were those guys like in person?
Great.
Jeter, A-Rod.
Very, very extreme. Nicer than you would think. You would think they would be. I didn't like hang out with them for an hour. We talked for 10 minutes, 5 minutes. But just normal. You would never know. And I don't know if it was the environment. There was nobody there taking pictures, all that kind of stuff.
Probably.
But no, they were really nice. But so let me tell you who I got starstruck with at Alabama to blow your mind.
Who?
Larry McReynolds, because I'm a big NASCAR fan.
Oh.
I was like, that's Larry McReynolds. That's my NASCAR guy. Everybody laughs at me about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There was all kinds of people. Backstreet Boys were there one time.
I bet you basically met everybody there.
I mean, I wouldn't call it like meeting and like you shake their hand and talk to you, but like a lot of people come to practice and things like that and come to games.
Celebrities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially big game weekends. Big game weekends. Singers, country music. And then if Talladega was in the fall race, was around that home game, they were going to be all the NASCAR drivers were going to be there in full effect on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Because it's an hour away or whatever. So they would all drive down, a bunch of them. But yeah, Tiger Woods gonna make his appearance back this Thursday at the Genesis Open. I put in this morning a $10 win bet on Tiger Woods to win at plus 17,500. So $10 would win me $1,750. That's freaking value, man. I got to do that, huh? That's just donating money, I know, but plus 17,500.
So $10 would make you what?
$1,750.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
$100 will make you 17,500. But I got it in this morning at plus 17,500.
Well, I'll cheer for him. I like Tiger too. I'm a big Tiger Woods fan, not to the extent that you are. He's probably the only person that gets me to watch golf. And so now that he's not really super competitive anymore, I don't really watch.
I think, but I'm a big golf guy. You know that.
I know.
You watch this year, I bet you there's going to be a resurgence in golf popularity.
Why?
All right, because last night again, one of the Super Bowl commercials, Full Swing on Netflix, starts on Wednesday. But they had a Michelob Ultra commercial that you could scan the QR code and watch the first episode.
Uh-huh.
And so, do you know, like the Formula One stuff that's on Netflix, whatever that's called, and the tennis one that they got on?
They have a tennis one that I've got.
Breakpoint.
I've got it. Yeah, I've got it queued up. I haven't watched it yet.
Very good.
Okay.
But there's a Formula One that's on there that's been on there for a while that has people's interest in the game. That is starting Wednesday, and the first episode was awesome.
Okay.
Behind the scenes, it was. It's going to go different golfers or whatever, but they had, big on Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth. I watched it last night after the Super Bowl. Very good. But here's the other reason. One reason I think PGA has struggled to maintain attention of the casual sports fan is because of the way there was no requirement of who played what event or whatever. If you had the majors, of course, they're all there and you watch them, right?
Right.
They started these elevated or designated events. They started in last week. Well, they have another one this week. There's going to be like 20 of these bad boys, right? Well, you look at the leaderboard at the end, you got all the best of the best in there playing. And so it's almost major-like, on these designated events. There's going to be like 20 of them. So I think combination with those both, I think in the Sunday afternoon, there's going to be guys, so it was Scotty Scheffler and John Rahm going at, down the stretch. You're going to have that every single week now instead of being once every, 2 or 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
So I think that in a combination with the popularity, I think they've done a really good job. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'll check that out because
you'll like it.
Yeah.
You really will because it'll give you sneak peek and it's not golfy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's real life. You'll like it. Like they showed Justin Thomas got sick and he went by himself to Walgreens. You know what I mean? Like,
so you get to see him as people.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
All right. I know you're a big UFC guy. There was a big fight over the weekend.
Did you watch any of it Saturday?
No.
Come on, dog.
I didn't.
All right. So
I remember what I did Saturday night.
Well, you probably don't remember. You sent me pictures of what you were drinking.
Yeah.
And you were switching when you text me. You're like, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm switching.
Yeah.
Gonna be a fun night, boss. You probably went to bed early.
It was an early night. Yeah.
Figured you'd remember that. No, you had Islam Makhachev and Volkanovski. They were the pound for pound number 1 and number 2. Didn't get as much hype because it was in Australia. It wasn't in Vegas. I don't think they wanted to compete with the Super Bowl and all that stuff. I think that's why, with entertainers and everybody going back and forth. But let me tell you something. The other fights were okay. I mean, they were normal fights. Best UFC fight I've ever watched was the main event. You had the 2 best dudes. Volkanovski went up in classification from, and then dude, Islam's a beast, and they're very good at the sport. And dude, they went 5 rounds and they went after it, and it was a 48-47, 3 rounds to 2, basically. Nobody knocked anybody out. But it was just amazing grappling, amazing the whole deal. Physical, tough-ass dudes going at it. And I bet you'll see that again. But if that was in Vegas and got the hype, for me, and being an MMA fan, that was the best 5-round fight I have ever watched from my own 2 eyes.
So there will be a demand for them to do it again.
Absolutely. If you're a UFC fan, that was real. I mean, dude, that was...
Who won?
Islam. He won by decision. He controlled because he can take you down. He's very difficult to take down. He's the best grappler in the game by far. And you got, dude, it was just amazing. And I know Connor saying Volk got screwed. He's an Australian. It was in Australia. He had the crowd behind him. But they put a lot of emphasis on takedowns and ground control. And Islam was able to do that, even though he usually submits everybody. I mean, he beats the best. I mean, Charles Oliveira, who was viewed as one of the best ever, I mean, he took care of his ass quick. You know, I mean, he does that to everybody. And this were the 2 best pound for pound in the rankings guys. And I'm sure it's going to be replayed on ESPN at some point when they get done. If you get a chance to watch it and you didn't watch it, that's one of the best pure MMA. You see basically everything. You see striking the best of the best going at it. It would been like watching, you know, Jordan and Bird back in the day. I mean, it was the 2 best going at it, so it was good. All right, let's. I want to talk about this because I want to get away from being a coach, and I want to be a fan here.
All right.
Yeah, I know we don't. I know we're going. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit, but this is kind of in my life. In the past, when football's over with, the Super Bowl's over with, the last third of the conference schedule and the tournament is when I start really getting into basketball. Well, this year I've been able to really get into it the whole time. And, you know, the SEC, I'm sorry, Eagles fans, because you're not listening today. When you come back and watch it, I know you care about the ACC. But the ACC is not. It's the Big 12 now. The Big 12 is the old ACC.
Big 12's a beast.
But I want to talk about SEC basketball. I think it's an interesting deal. It almost has taken the mirror to me as the football season did. You have 3 at the top, you have 3 at the bottom, and you got this middle logjam of 8 teams that are separated by 2 games. I mean, there's 2 games difference between you getting all the way to Friday in the SEC tournament or playing on Wednesday night.
Yep.
And there's with 6 to go.
And those teams are super even.
And
so I know there's a top 3. I'm just going to tell you there's a top 1.
There's a top 1.
There's a top 1. They're better than everybody else.
And undefeated.
I don't know why. I guess it's because I could pull it up here. I had it up yesterday. I need to pull it back up. Texas A&M had some really bad losses in November.
Yep.
And people just kind of wrote them off.
Dude, they're not even ranked.
I know.
Did they get ranked today?
I don't know.
I'll look it up while you're talking.
But they had like 3 bad losses, and people were like, that's it. They're done. And they're not done. In fact, someone sent me earlier today.
Dude, they're 10-2 in the league.
Yeah, I know. So in the last, let me find this. This is interesting. Let me find it in my.
No, they're still not ranked.
In the Torvik top 10 ratings since January the 13th. Okay. Top 10 teams in the country analytically since January the 13th.
Okay. When it counts.
Alabama.
Shocker.
Purdue.
Shocker.
Creighton.
That is a shocker.
Baylor, who's very good.
Baylor's legit, dude.
Number 5, Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Followed by Indiana, San Diego State, St. Mary's. Have you watched them play, by the way?
St. Mary's?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I watched them play in Gonzaga last week.
Arizona and Texas. Texas A&M's terrific. I mean, they're really good.
So what if I told you today's AP Top 25, and they're not in it, but others receiving votes? Number 26 will be Missouri at 114. They deserve it.
Yep.
Northwestern at 96. Illinois has got 84. Pittsburgh's 82. Then Nevada. Then Oklahoma State. And then Texas A&M.
So Texas A&M's like 32nd.
They're 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. They are 32nd. That's good.
It's
Look at you.
ridiculous.
But they're 10-2 in the league.
Yeah.
And I looked at their net. I mean, that's not a – I mean, technically
their net's about 33.
They're a bubble team.
Yeah, they're not a bubble team. They're in.
But I'm saying, like, if you look at the bracketology and all that stuff,
yeah,
they're considered right now.
Yeah,
But you're 10-2 in the league, dude.
I'm just telling you, they're in.
I mean,
they're in. I've watched them. I've watched them. They're a tournament team. They're not. They're not going to. They're not going to lose much.
Yeah. And I
they're
said
tough as nails.
They're tough, man. And I know I said it on the podcast a couple weeks ago when you asked me, like the Missouri Tigers, man. I think they had to lock up a bid on the road win against Tennessee, huh?
What's their net right now? I'll find it.
They're in the. I didn't see it, but they're in the 40s or whatever.
I'll pull up their net.
I think they're 44, or maybe that's staying in.
You think I'd remember this because I do it every Sunday and I put the net in.
It's almost like you cover basketball.
SEC nets are here. Alabama's 1. Alabama's 2 actually in the net. Tennessee's 3. Arkansas's 23, A&M's 33, Auburn's 35, Mississippi State's 41, Missouri's 45, Kentucky's 46, Florida's 53, and everybody else is out. Even though I'm telling you, Vanderbilt's a good team. Nobody wants to play Vanderbilt right now. That Liam Robbins,
the big guy.
oh,
Well, since they got him back, that they're a good basketball team.
People look at him and go, "Oh, it's just big tall guy." No. Dude can move his feet.
He can do everything.
Super skilled. He's very, very good rebounding.
Are they in a position that they have to win the tournament or make a run to get in?
Yeah, their net's 93. They have
or have a strong close.
They're 13-12. I mean, I guess if they won out or something like that,
they have to go on a miracle run.
Yeah, I mean, they have 6 games left. If you woke up and they're 19-12, we're having a different conversation. But
right.
if they're like 17-14, no, they'd have to win the tournament.
But
so here's who's in. I mean, look at the Nets. Alabama's in. Tennessee's in. Forget it. Bama's going to be a 1 seed.
Yep. Tennessee at least a 2.
Arkansas 6-6 in the league. Arkansas is
that hurt Saturday.
It did, but State played so freaking well. State played above their heads. And Arkansas was trying to integrate Nick Smith Jr., and they got a little rusty, and they got a little out of control, and he let the big stay in too long, and he fouled out with 10 minutes left. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
Musselman kind of got cute. Arkansas's 2-5 in quad 1, 3-1 in quad 2, 12-2. Let's see. Wait, hold up.
There's only 2 SEC teams with a winning record against quad 1 teams.
Arkansas's 4-2 against quad 2, and that's what's going to bail them out. They have no bad losses. They're 7-1 quad 3, 4-0 quad 4. Texas A&M is 33 in the net. They're 2-4 quad 1, 3-1 quad 2. They've got 2 quad 4 losses. That's
early in the season. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and they're fine. Auburn's 35. I like Auburn. I've liked them all year. I don't like their guard play makes them susceptible.
Yep.
At times.
Well, if you're long, they can't score.
But I still like their team, right? And so Auburn is 17-8. They are 2-6 quad 1, 5-2 quad 2, and they have no bad losses. They're 10-0 against quad 3 and quad 4.
Right.
State. Here's where State's interesting. State's net today is 41. They are 17-8. 3-4 on the road, 4-1 on neutral sites. They're 10-3 at home, 3-5 quad 1. Not bad.
No.
2-3 quad 2. And then they're 12-0, but 9-0 against quad 4. Like their schedule was so bad that they give themselves no margin for error, but they're hot right now. And they're a really good defensive team.
Yes.
They locked down Arkansas. Now they shot it against Arkansas way above their season norms.
They did.
And Arkansas had Devontae Davis and Ricky Council IV go cold on the same night. Otherwise, it's a different game probably. But they're there. And Missouri's 45. Missouri's 8-0 against quad 4, 3-0 against quad 3, 4-0 against quad 2, 4-6. They're a lock. And then Kentucky, man, hey, it's getting iffy.
All right, I'm going Captain Hot Take right now.
Yep.
Which I've been on the Captain Hot Take since I went and watched them play against Ole Miss. What was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
And I've been saying it since then. I told a good friend of ours that lives in Tennessee and has a morning show in the mornings because he can live in Tennessee and get the bet. I said, get the prop bet right now. Kentucky will not make the NCAA tournament.
Kentucky is 1-7 in quad 1.
Kentucky will not make the NCAA tournament.
They're 6-1 in quad 2, and they have a quad 4 loss. Kentucky is 46. I need to see the rest.
How do they not have 2 quad 4 losses?
I need to see the rest of their schedule.
What's Georgia considered, quad 2 or 3? South Carolina's got to be quad 4.
Yeah, Georgia's 125, so they're not quad 4. And it was on the road, so that's not.
What's South Carolina considered?
That's their quad. That's a quad 4 loss.
Gotcha.
South Carolina's net after winning at Ole Miss is 253. In case you're curious, the rest of the nets: Vanderbilt's 93, Georgia's 125, Ole Miss is 126, LSU is 146, and Carolina is up to 253.
Got a bump.
They literally moved up like 30 points.
Kentucky's not going to make the tournament. I think they're going to have a quick exit in the SEC tournament as well. They can't defend at the rim, man. I don't know what it is. Like, if you watch them play, anybody that attacks the basket, it's like there is a game plan on those guys, and when you attack the basket, they cannot defend. And if they're off at all,
well, I hate the rest of their schedule. Listen to the rest of their schedule.
I mean, they just lost to Georgia.
They go to Mississippi State on Wednesday night.
Dude.
Tennessee comes there on Saturday.
Loss.
They got to go to Florida.
Loss.
A week from Wednesday. Auburn goes there on February 25th. And then here's one. I'm telling you now. Vanderbilt goes there March 1st. And then they finish March 4th, senior day, at Arkansas.
Like, dude, they're not going to make the tournament.
I mean, those are not. Of those 6 games, I mean, you don't look at any of them. I mean, look, they won't lose all those games. But they ain't winning all those games either. I mean, there's going to be some L's in there.
I think if at best they go 3-3 in their next 6, what's that put them at? They go 3-3 in their next 6. What's that put their conference record at?
I don't have that in front of me anymore. I don't. It would. What it would do to their net is put them at around 50.
I knew we started talking college basketball. My man Dave was going to show up at Mock 10 Sports. Dave is a college basketball aficionado, and he just said Oscar is soft. He says pick and roll defense, and he's lost, and he is. It's like, dude, they just pick and roll this dude and get free layups at the basket over and over and over.
Did you watch their game against Arkansas?
I got about a half of it probably.
Arkansas just one bucket after another at the goal.
Yeah, it's like, and when they played Ole Miss, I mean, Ole Miss can't score. And you know what they could do? I mean, they were getting free, like, uncontested layups, man. Like, uncontested at the rim.
Yes, and the thing with Ole Miss, everybody keeps doing this with me. They're like, what do you think it is? Okay, there's a round ball that you have to put through the round hoop.
What color is it?
Orange.
Okay.
And you need to put that thing, kind of a burnt orange. You need to put that thing through the bright orange hoop as much as possible.
So burnt orange to the bright orange.
And Ole Miss is not good at that. Yeah. It's not about effort. It's not about morale. It's not about chemistry. They just can't
play hard,
score.
Man. Yeah, they play hard. Just can't score.
And so they go through these 3-4 minute stretches where they don't score. And the other team does score, and then they can't catch up.
Yeah. It's almost like if you have really good players, it matters.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's almost like the team that has the most good players is going to be the team that's harder to beat.
That is a novel. I think we're on something here. That is a novel idea you just had there. So you're telling me if you have more good players than the other team, that you have a good chance of winning the game?
I'm gonna give you an example.
What are we doing here?
I'm gonna give you an example.
Sell this.
So if you took the Super Bowl yesterday and you put Mahomes on the green team and you put Hurts on the white jersey team, the green team would have won.
No.
Players matter.
Do they? What if you had Patrick Mahomes on the 49ers?
They'd be Super Bowl champions today.
Dude, that is a novel idea you got there.
Yep.
That is a novel idea.
It's why all the people in Chicago, when they passed on Patrick Mahomes to take Mitch Trubisky.
Well, look, in Chicago's defense, nobody knew Patrick Mahomes was going to be Patrick Mahomes. Matter. A lot of teams passed on him.
But that's the deal.
That's the deal. I mean, you passed on him. Who also sat a year and developed behind Alex Smith.
He did.
But boy, I bet they're glad they did. How about my man, by the way, Patrick One Leg Mahomes yesterday? You didn't get to watch enough of the game to get some, but old Patty One Leg, he scrambled around, got him a couple big runs.
Yeah.
That's your guy.
I like Mahomes fine.
It's not Mahomes,
It's
dude.
not him. It's
everybody around him. Like, dude, every time I see, look, Patrick Mahomes, I know you're not listening. I don't have a problem with Patrick Mahomes.
No.
I like Patrick Mahomes. I like him a lot. He has actually grown on me a ton as a competitor. And look, I get it. All that. Dude, high ankle sprain, tough to play through. And he sucked it up and he went. He never pulled himself out.
It's possible he's the GOAT.
Hey, Patrick Mahomes, not soft.
No.
Okay?
It's possible he's the GOAT.
Patrick Mahomes, not soft. My man Patrick Mahomes, he's never soft.
No, he's terrific.
But it's the freaking, like, I'm watching, I got the TVs on, and I see him getting interviewed, and I see his freaking goofy-ass brother doing fucking TikToks behind his head. That's what pisses me off about Patrick Mahomes. It's his brother.
Yeah.
Being a goof-ass dumbball. Like, dude, if that was my brother,
right?
Like, if I was Patrick Mahomes and my brother was doing shit like that, then we're going to have a conversation, man. Like, we got. I mean, you don't think he's had a conversation, but like, hey, man, you got to chill the fuck out.
Then don't give him a ticket to the game.
Well, I understand. Oh, he lives with them and shit, I think.
I mean, at some point, you just got to go, hey, listen.
I mean, you got to cut him off or some
You're
shit.
on your own.
Yeah.
We've been brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, that area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, surrounding area, call the people at Southern, 662-429-4429. The last thing on SEC basketball, there's a handful of games left with these teams that I'm really interested in. Because A&M's got some W's coming. I think Auburn's got to win a little bit. I think State's got to win. I think Arkansas has to win a little bit.
There's too many teams that have to win.
Missouri can't take the pipe, but I think they're good. Arkansas got Smith back, and in the second half, even though he didn't make him buckets, it was like you're starting to see he's a great player, and how much can he help them in the last month? Give him credit, by the way.
Yeah.
What
was his injury?
He's got knee stuff, and I don't think it's bad, but Nick Smith's going to be one of the first 5 guys taken in the NBA draft.
So you're saying he's pretty good?
He could have shut it down. Give him a little credit here. He could have shut it down and said, you know what, I'm going to protect myself. And no, I wouldn't blame him. Would you blame him? I wouldn't blame him.
No. But
he said, I want to play. I want to play for my home state team, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Good for him. Anyway, I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Everybody's like, oh, well, he missed all these games, but he came back. He didn't have to.
He did not.
Anyway, we talked a lot about this on the morning show.
Before you go, I want to ask you one question on basketball.
Okay.
In your opinion, but in the middle 8, who is going to get the 4 seed? Who's going to get all the way to Friday out of that middle 8? Because we know it's going to be A&M, Alabama, and Tennessee.
Yeah.
Who's getting the 4 spot in your opinion? Because you got 8 teams separated by 2 games with 6 to go.
Pull up a schedule. Because the one that I want to see their schedule first. Pulling up Missouri's basketball schedule the rest of the way. Missouri is at Auburn, L. Texas A&M at home.
That's what I was getting at.
Mississippi State. Oh, boy. State could beat them at home. At Georgia, it's tough. And then they finished strong because they finished with LSU and Ole Miss.
So they're at least getting 2.
They're probably finishing 3-3. So maybe them. Let's see. What does Arkansas have left? Arkansas the rest of the way. At Texas A&M, it's an L. Florida at home, it's a win. Georgia at home should be a win. At Alabama, oof. At Tennessee, oof. And then Kentucky at home. So they're probably going 3-3 the rest of the way.
3-3 or 2-4. Well,
they'll beat Florida, they'll beat Georgia, and they'll probably beat Kentucky at home.
Florida's sneaky now.
Yeah, they suck lately. Have you watched them lately?
Yeah, Florida's sneaky.
Maybe. I'll give them 3-3. So they're going 9-9. So it's probably not them.
That's what I'm saying. They're all playing each other.
Who's Auburn got?
We just said Arkansas.
Yeah.
I said Missouri.
I know Auburn's got Ole Miss at home.
Vandy. Grind says Auburn's got Ole Miss and Vandy left.
All right. Auburn's got Missouri at home. I think that's a W. At Vandy. Not a gimme.
Not a gimme.
Ole Miss at home's a win. At Kentucky. At Alabama. Tennessee at home. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's going to be a cluster to see what happens at the end of the season, but somebody's got to be the 4 seed.
That's the way it works.
Someone has to be the 4 seed.
Someone will be the 4 seed.
I look for it to be, we talk about how Friday, you said this a gazillion times. Friday at the SEC basketball tournament is just
best day.
Best day. Dude, it's really going to be the best day because nobody's going to have a clue who's going to win because it's so even. All right, go ahead. What do you want to talk about? You're about to start something else.
Well, we did a lot on Texas and Oklahoma.
I'm good there. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
The
one thing I'm really watching is the Pac-12 right now. The Pac-12's in trouble.
Well, I don't know if they're in trouble surviving. They're just going to be not
Well, as a Power 5, if I tell you that the Pac-12, if I tell you here's who the Pac-12 is in 3 years:
Mhm.
Washington State, Oregon State, Cal, Stanford, Boise State, UNLV, Fresno State, SMU, San Diego State, and somebody. Is that Power 5?
I think as long as Washington and Oregon are there, it will be.
Okay.
Like, they'll pull the others up. But here's the thing is, too,
Man.
now we'll tell you this. I mean, I think it's all – that's why I want – because of what you're saying. You know, again, I understand that I come across as a beer-drinking idiot redneck sometimes, but I actually do think about down the road what happens. When I said that when it comes to college football that I wanted to do a 16-team playoff, if you did a 16-team playoff like they used to do it 100 years ago.
They eventually will. You know that, right?
I know, because you never can stop. I mean, look at FCS.
It'll stop at 16, but that's where they'll go.
But if you did it that way,
Mhm.
okay, again, not popular with anybody, you don't create any more games and all that stuff, right? But if every single conference in America gets an automatic bid, you would stop seeing all this jump to this league, jump to that league stuff. And it would preserve some of these conferences and give them survival.
Yeah.
It would.
Yeah.
Because, example, Pac-12.
Mhm.
You think Oregon and Washington are going to be eager to, if the Pac-12 got an automatic bid, which they would, just like the Sun Belt, do you think they're going to be in a hurry to leave that league?
Yeah, because of the money. They're going to be in a hurry because of the money. Here's the Pac-12's problem. The Pac-12 is about to go to a deal where their primary games are going to be streaming services only. They're not.
That interests me. What was the money on that? Did you see?
It's minuscule.
Is it? I haven't
Yes.
seen anything about
It's
the money.
minuscule.
Was
I mean,
Amazon, right?
Yeah, I think so. The problem Pac-12 is going to have is the same problem the ACC is about to have. And I said this on the morning show, so I'm being repetitive.
Okay, it's okay. I didn't hear this part.
The Big Ten and the SEC are about to make buku money.
Big 12 about to join too.
And the Big 12 is going to be making pretty good money too. They're not going to be at
Not
that
yet,
level.
but they will.
Yeah, but they're going to be good.
Start pulling.
Well, they're getting ready to take Colorado, Arizona State, Utah.
That's going to wrap up some markets for them.
And it's going to make them have some muscle.
Yep.
Right? They're not going to be at the SEC level or the Big Ten level, but they're going to be close enough that they'll be competitive financially. I'm not talking about on the field. I'm not talking about playoff bids. I'm talking about money.
Yep.
If you're the ACC, you're going to start looking at this going, what are we doing? Why are we not more competitive? Like I said this morning, North Carolina is going to look across the landscape sooner rather than later. And they're going to be like, okay, so I'm looking over at the Southeastern Conference, and there's Florida, and there's Tennessee, and there's Georgia, and Auburn, and Alabama, and LSU, and they're all making $70-some-odd million a year. And then we look over to the Big Ten, and those are kind of more our people, more our academic people, and Wisconsin, and Iowa, and Michigan, and Penn State, and Rutgers, they're all making $70 million a year. And they're going to say, we're making $21 million a year. What are we doing?
Yeah.
At some point, someone's going, what are we doing? And someone's going to go, well, we have this rights package. Let's get out of it.
I think they had to do a lot with paying $100 million to get out of the Big 12 to go to the SEC too. When they saw them $50 million checks go out last week.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean, Texas and Oklahoma are going to come out ahead.
That's what I'm saying. Is they say, hey, we're getting $50 million every year. I mean, in 4 years, it pays for itself. Like they're getting the money they were going to get from the Big 12.
Yep.
Pay for their deal. Pay for their exit, $50 million exit.
Yep.
Get the money, and then they're going to pay for itself in 3 years.
They're just going to have a hiccup. That's it. It's just going to be a hiccup, and then they're going to be fine.
Yep.
And did
they work out a deal with Texas on the Longhorn Network? Is that going to go away, or are they going to?
I think it's going to go away.
Gotcha.
Or just kind of get folded in.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You got to give them a little credit though. The Longhorn Network is the entire reason that the SEC network's around. They kind of started all that.
Yeah.
So you got to give them some props.
Sure.
But I just I'm glad for I'm ready to get Texas and Oklahoma in this bad boy. Like 23 is going to be this next football season is going to be really weird.
Yes.
Because while there's going to be talk, just like we talk every week about football season, in the back of your head, you're waiting on 24
Oh, for sure.
because of the playoff.
This year will be a little bit like almost sentiment. Like,
Yeah.
hey, this is the last year we
Hey,
do all this stuff
yeah.
that we're used to. And then 24 is going to be exciting because it's going to be new and different, and it's going to have a different feel to it.
Everybody's got a chance.
And yeah, and look, the Big Ten will be SC and UCLA at a minimum, and Oklahoma and Texas. Suddenly you're going to have new games in the SEC, and it'll be cool. And I mean, it's going to be a different format.
Another SEC game.
9 games. It's going to be different.
You watch how big of an impact that makes. That
Sure.
one game.
I know.
Watch how big of an impact that makes.
Yeah, instead of getting to play Tulsa or somebody, you're playing
whoever.
Texas.
Yeah.
Right.
And you still are going to have to play your one game. They're not going to give up the money on the other end. They're going to still schedule one premier game.
Oh, yeah. I said this morning, and I believe this is coming. I really
giving
do.
up your mid-major game.
I'm not making this up when I say this. I think it's coming sooner rather than later, and it might be 2, 3, 4 years. I think you're going to see the Big Ten and the SEC go, you know what? We could make even more money if we would play each other once a year.
Like a Big Ten SEC challenge kind of deal.
And I think you'll see that weekend happen.
Yeah.
Half the games would be on Fox. Half the games would be on ESPN/Disney. Everybody would make a fortune. It's a really attractive way to sell season tickets. If you told Ole Miss, hey, Michigan's coming to town this year.
Oh, yeah.
Makes that ticket a little more attractive. If you tell people in the Big Ten, hey, Iowa, Georgia's coming to town.
Oh, dude.
I mean, it's coming. And now
Let me tell you what else is coming.
What's that?
And I think we're seeing it right now because you kind of mentioned it. You were hitting on it just a second ago, this Pac-12 thing. Let me tell you what's going to happen is the Big 12 keeps expanding, SEC's expanding,
yep,
Big 10's expanding.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys, look, we're already like, let's just get together and kind of –
let's do it.
Let's kind of just walk out here and do our own thing.
It's coming. It's been coming for a long time. It's fast march now.
And this is a step.
Like if you're on the treadmill, we were talking about treadmill, me on the treadmill, you on the treadmill today.
I just want to make clear I was not running on the treadmill.
Everybody's been going like 3.1, 3.2, just kind of walking.
Yeah.
People are starting to hit that up button. Belt's going faster now.
I wouldn't be surprised by the next TV deal.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if it takes that long.
Really?
Yeah.
When is this new SEC deal up? Do you know? Length of term?
I don't know what the length on it is. It'll probably be like some 8-10 year deal. It won't take that long. It's going to be a fast march. There's too much money on the table to do it. The only thing that's ever really stopped it is the NCAA tournament. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you what's coming with that. Is people are going to be like, you know what? I get it. But that first round game against Lehigh is not worth what we could do, and you're just going to see everybody play. It's just going to be a big Power 5 tournament or Power 4 tournament or whatever the hell it is.
What if you had a Power 5, that one league? I mean, you can come up with their own 64 teams. There's already 65 teams in Power 5.
Sure.
What if you're the one left out? The whole bracketology is the one guy left out. Fight not to be the last guy in.
Yeah, you'd be a shitty team, so it'd be fine.
You think that would hurt your job security if you were the last team?
Yeah.
The only team not in?
Yeah, I think you would by the end of that season you would know, hey, you know what? We don't want to play in the tournament.
Yeah. Just check.
Speaking of last thing, you have some thoughts on this New Mexico State story?
Have you seen this?
Yeah, I've been following it, and I'm surprised it doesn't get more attention than it's getting nationally because I think it's going, when it all comes out, and I guess it eventually will, I think it's going to be quite scandalous.
Well, it's already like the first part was scandalous.
Yeah.
I mean, this came out in December.
Yeah.
Kind of just went away.
And now this is very clearly.
This is hazing.
Yeah, but it's
bad hazing.
Bad hazing. It's the kind of hazing that.
Not shave your head or dye your hair hazing.
It's the kind of hazing that as a parent scares the hell out of you involving your kid. It's they locked him up, allegedly violated them in some way.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I said allegedly.
I just said it allegedly one more time just in case nobody heard allegedly. Because of our good friend Pat McAfee is getting sued by Brett Favre by not saying allegedly enough.
Yeah. So allegedly.
Allegedly.
If the allegations are remotely true, it's criminal. So I suspect this is going to be scandalous when it all eventually comes out.
I mean, dude, there's like murder charges. Allegedly, there's a lot of things going on. If you, I'm to the point. I mean, how in the hell I mean, when you suspend a basketball season, like you're done for the year.
Yeah, when you just shut it down.
Like, how do you think? How bad does it have to be that you shut down the rest of the season? Like, it's got to be bad, 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 bad. Like what they know and what we know are going to be two different things.
Yeah,
like they know more than we know.
For sure,
it's bad already.
For sure, what
they've already told us is bad.
What they believe to have happened is bad.
Woo! Get you some of that.
So,
I did. What about if I told you that Kentucky doesn't make the NCAA tournament? Are you surprised or not surprised?
Not surprised.
Which way would you bet right now?
That they will not make it.
Okay. Some people think I'm crazy on that.
No, I don't think they're going to make it. I watched them play. I don't think they're very good. They have the name on their jersey. If you just took the name off their jersey and watched them play, like right now, teams in the SEC that I think are better than them today, just better than them. Obviously, the three at the top: Auburn, Missouri, Texas. I think Vanderbilt's better than them right now. Arkansas. The list just goes. They're right there with Florida. I don't think Florida's very good. I think Florida apexed and is falling.
Gotcha.
But I just don't think they're going to win many games, and so they're going to play on Thursday in the tournament against one of the kind of teams that I just mentioned, and I think they're going to get beat.
Wow. How get those tickets for about 36 cents?
Well, I've told people if you ever have wanted to go to the tournament and you've just not done it because Kentucky buys up all
it's fun. I've been.
Kentucky buys up all the tickets. It's down there at Bridgestone in downtown Nashville, right there by all the bars and the restaurants and stuff. Go, even if you don't have a ticket, if you just want to hang out. Like, it's the worst places to hang out than Nashville, for God's sake.
There is.
Go hang out, and when Kentucky plays, go get at one of the sports bars near, or bars, it's not be a sports bar, but whatever. Go get one of the bars where the Kentucky, where it's on TV. And if Kentucky's losing on Thursday, close out your tab, get up, or leave, just go hang out by the exits. When they lose that game, coming out, you'll see them. They'll be decked out in blue. And yes, the fans that go there are not their ones that go to Rupp. These are the younger ones that can't get into Rupp. They're going to be pissed off. Just be nice. Don't antagonize. Just say, "You selling your ticket?" They might hand it to you. They might sell it to you for $10. You'll get into the rest of the tournament for dirt cheap.
You will. I mean, for sure. I've been
watched,
twice, I think.
I've watched.
I enjoy it.
I've gone out and watched that happen on Thursday at an SEC tournament. Don't antagonize with, "Oh, y'all suck." No, don't do all that stuff. Nope. Just go,
don't be an Eagles fan.
Hey, yeah. Man, I'm really sorry that happened with Kentucky. I bet that sucks to have planned your whole weekend and all that stuff. $50, I'm telling you, they'll hand you your ticket, and they will go take that money and go drown their sorrows up on Broadway. So it's a freebie.
Yeah. Fun fact, I was sitting in Bridgestone Arena the night that COVID hit. And they shut everything down.
I know you were.
I was there with the family.
I drove 3/4 of the way there, found out there would be no locker room access, turned around, went back. Good decision.
I was taking a job and thought that was going to be my last week of freedom.
That's right.
And we decided to, because I was going to be gone for a while, and I said, "Hey, let's take the boys in Nashville, spend some time together." They love basketball and stuff, so we got an Airbnb in downtown Nashville. We're going to the tournament, and COVID hit, hiring freeze, never went.
Worked out.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Things are good. Be busy. Hey, before I forget, please make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button. We'll get these subscribers up. And for all you people over 25 years old that are listening right now, even though it says subscribe, it's completely free.
Yes.
I think that freaks people out.
It does.
Yeah. Subscribing to this is completely free.
It's one of the reasons I kind of like Spotify. They just say follow.
Yeah, follow. That's what it should say.
That's what
follow.
It should say.
Because
people think they're going to get charged. There is no charge.
Especially when they see super chats and stuff like that. There's money. Just hit the subscribe button. hit the follow button if you don't mind. We will appreciate it very much, and it helps out. It helps us out a little bit as well. So we appreciate you guys.
We've been brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram, Rain Body Fuel, to learn more. We'll be back on Thursday. I'm not sure what we have planned for Thursday, but we'll be back on Thursday with another edition of McCready and Siskey. Until then, thanks for everyone being in the stream. Take care.